Look around. Right now, this is a gym. Watch. Now it's a bedroom. Now it's an office. Now it's a dining room. Same floor. Same ceiling. Same four walls. For completely different rooms. One tap each. Under 30 seconds per transformation. This is not a concept. This is not a prototype sitting in a lab somewhere. This is where tiny house design is in 2026. And today we're going into all of it. The homes, the engineering, the real costs, and the one system that started everything in an MIT lab and is now being installed in homes across America. Stay with me. What I'm saving for the end will completely reframe how you think about what a room even is. Subscribe and hit that notification bell right now, because this channel goes deeper on tiny living than anywhere else on YouTube. And stay all the way to the end, because the final section on AI-driven shape-shifting homes is the most jaw-dropping thing we've ever covered. Let's go. Here is the fundamental tension of tiny living that nobody has ever fully solved until now. In every tiny house ever built before 2026, the rooms were fixed. The bedroom was always the bedroom. The living room was always the living room. If you wanted a home office, you gave up floor space forever. If you wanted a guest bed, it sat there taking up room every day whether a guest was there or not. The problem isn't square footage. The problem is that you need more functions than you have rooms for. And the old answer, cram everything in and accept the clutter, doesn't work when your entire home is 240 square feet. Designers started asking a completely different question. What if you didn't need more rooms? What if one room could be every room, just not all at once? That question changed everything. And the answer traces back to one research project at MIT. The story of the shape-shifting tiny house begins in Cambridge, Massachusetts. At the MIT Media Lab, a research group called City Science built something they called City Home, a movable wall system you control with gestures, tested inside a mock 200 square foot studio apartment on the 5th floor of the lab. Inside the group, they called it furniture with superpowers. It made small spaces seem bigger, not by expanding the walls, but by making each use of the space feel full-sized. One of the lead researchers, Laria, described the core insight perfectly. Around 200 square feet seems too small to live in, but a 200 square foot bedroom or a 200 square foot living room doesn't seem so small. The idea was never to make the space bigger. It was to make each use of the space feel complete, because you're never using it as two things at once. That MIT research spun out into a commercial company called Ori Systems, named after origami. Ori built a real product, an L-shaped robotic unit on a wall track, controlled by an app, a control hub, or voice command through Amazon Echo. It starts at around $10,000, and it's being installed today in apartment buildings across Boston, Seattle, and Washington, D.C., in developments by major real estate companies including Skanska and Hines. What started in premium urban apartments is now arriving in the tiny house world, and the results are extraordinary. Let's look at the most dramatic proof of what a shape-shifting tiny house can actually do. A 2025 prototype tiny home equipped with robotic furniture took this concept as far as it's ever been taken. The unit was 240 square feet, and it supported 5 complete functional zones: a bedroom, a home office, a dining area, a lounge, and a gym, all within the same footprint. Movable partitions on ceiling and floor tracks reshape the interior between each zone on demand. Here's what one day in that home looks like. You wake up. The space is a bedroom. Bed down, soft lighting. You tap once. Bed retracts. The room reconfigures into a living and dining area. You eat. You tap again. Table folds away. Desk appears. You work. You tap again. Floor clears. Yoga mat rolls out. You exercise. Later, the bed returns. The day is complete. The same 240 square feet served as every room you needed, and felt like a full-size version of each one, because you were never using it as 2 rooms simultaneously. And here's the data point that tells you this isn't niche experimentation anymore. A 2026 survey from small home design communities found that nearly 72% of tiny homeowners now rely on transforming furniture for daily use. Space efficiency is the primary driver, but improved comfort and reduced clutter are cited just as frequently. 72%. That is the majority. This is crossed from early adoption into mainstream tiny living. Theory and prototypes are great. A real home you can actually order today is better. So let me introduce you to the most complete, shape-shifting tiny house available in 2026. The Ecobox Home 659. Built by Ecobox Tiny Escape Solutions. Based in Sofia, Bulgaria. Manufacturing transformable tiny homes since 2012. Built on a dual-axle trailer, it measures 21.6 feet long by 8.4 feet wide by 11.3 feet tall. Road legal. No special permits required. It can be towed and relocated anywhere. And what's inside is where the philosophy earns its name. The living area contains 2 upholstered benches on wheels. Each one a storage unit. Together they form a sofa. Reconfigure them. They become an L-shaped sectional. Push them together. A guest bed. Slide them aside. The entire floor clears for exercise or yoga. The dining table retracts completely into the wall when not in use. Chairs fold flat and live in the bench storage. The bedroom sits on an elevated platform that doubles as a viewing area over the living space below. When you don't need the table, it's gone. When you don't need the chairs, they're gone. The room always looks exactly as full or as open as you want it. The Ecobox 659 comes in 3 tiers. The basic shell with utilities installed, approximately $34,310. Mid-level with kitchen furniture, smart modular furniture, and shower, approximately $43,795. The fully equipped turnkey model, kitchen appliances, complete bathroom, air conditioning, built-in sound system, 28-inch smart TV, smart home functions, and ambient LED lighting. Approximately $57,560. $34,000 to $58,000. For a legally towable, fully transformable, smart home-ready tiny house that ships worldwide. One of the most intelligently designed, small homes available to the average buyer in 2026. Let's spend a moment on the engineering, because understanding what's actually happening under the hood helps you evaluate any transformable home you're looking at. Shape-shifting tiny homes use 3 core mechanisms. First, the wall-mounted rail system. A large unit, containing bed, storage, desk, closet, sits on a precision track mounted to the floor or ceiling. An electric motor drives it along the track. The whole thing moves as one piece, nearly silently. This is Ori's approach. The hum is comparable to a refrigerator. Most people describe it as surprisingly dignified for something rearranging your entire room. Second, the ceiling-mounted retractable bed. Instead of sliding sideways, the bed rises vertically, straight up, until the mattress sits flush with the ceiling, leaving the entire floor completely clear. Best systems in 2026 are rated for 400-600 pounds, run on standard household current, have manual override for power failure, and include safety sensors that stop descent if anything is below. Ascent or descent takes 30 to 45 seconds. Third, wall-embedded fold-out systems. A surface lives inside a wall cavity when not needed, table, desk, Murphy bed, and folds out on a lift arm or hinge when it is. From the outside, the wall looks completely flat. This is the system the Ecobox 659 uses for its dining table. When deployed, it's a full dining table. When retracted, the wall is smooth, clean, and uninterrupted. These 3 mechanisms, alone or combined, are what turn a fixed tiny house into a home that genuinely changes shape. Real numbers. Here's what this costs at every budget level. Entry level, $3,000 to $8,000. Covers manual fold-out furniture systems. A Murphy bed with integrated desk. A wall-mounted fold-down dining table. Modular rolling storage. No motors. No power required. Entirely reliable. A great starting point for a DIY tiny home build or a retrofit. Mid-range, $8,000 to $20,000. Gets you a partially automated system. Ceiling-mounted retractable bed plus fold-out desk, plus modular partitions. This is the level at which transformation genuinely feels effortless. One tap, one motion per change. Premium, $20,000 to $40,000. Is a full robotic interior. Custom designed around your floor plan. Automated everything. The kind of system going into the highest-end micro apartments in Boston and Seattle right now. And then the turnkey option. The Ecobox 659 at $57,560. Complete, shipping ready, delivered to your site. Here's the reframe that makes these numbers make sense. The cost of a transformation system is the cost of a room you'd otherwise have to build. In a tiny house on a tiny footprint, you cannot build that room any other way. The transformation system is the only way to have it. Everything we've covered so far requires one thing from you: a tap, a command, a decision. What if the room already knew what you needed? In 2026, AI-powered home automation in tiny homes now includes smart beds that fold into walls, voice-controlled kitchen units, and robotic storage solutions that respond to time of day and learned user patterns, not commands. Here's what that looks like. At 6:45 a.m., the home detects your alarm. Lighting shifts from sleep mode to a gentle wake gradient. By 7:15, when your pattern suggests you're ready to rise, the bed begins ascending. Coffee maker activates. By 8 o'clock, when your calendar shows your first meeting, the home is already in office mode. You didn't touch anything, and the market is already pricing this in. Tech-enabled tiny homes are selling nearly 30% faster than non-automated equivalents, according to a realtor in Oregon. Buyers aren't just paying for square footage anymore. They're paying for the intelligence layered on top of it. Ori co-founder Hajer Laria said it best: spaces will adapt to us, instead of us adapting to spaces, which is what we've been doing for so many years. Spaces will adapt to us. That is not a designer's wish. That is the direction every single data point in 2026 is pointing toward. The shape-shifting tiny house isn't a luxury for early adopters. It is the logical endpoint of everything tiny living has been building toward for a decade. Same floor, same ceiling, same four walls, infinite rooms. The MIT lab called a furniture with superpowers. The Ecobox 659 ships it to your door for under $58,000. The AI system runs it before you even ask. And 72% of tiny homeowners are already living this way every single day. This tiny house doesn't just change shape. It changes what a home can be. Drop a comment and tell me, which transformation would you use first the moment you moved in? Gym, office, dining room? Tell me below. I read every single one. And if you love this kind of deep dive, the full playlist is right here. Secret rooms, hidden garages, houses that double in size. Every video connects to this one. Subscribe if you haven't. New deep dives every week. See you in the next one.